Welcome back. We're going to talk about part 3 of e-swapping my 1982 Toyota pickup truck. Today is all about electric motors. This is where it gets fun. There is an endless list of motors that you could use in your EV swaps. There are AC induction motors, series wound, shunt wound, compound wound. You could use old forklift motors. You could use motors that are meant for EVs. It's really up to you. AC induction motors are going to be a little bit more efficient, might be a little bit pricier, and you also have the added cost and complexity of an inverter, which is needed if you're going to use an AC motor. DC motors, on the other hand, are pretty ancient technology. They're pretty cheap and they're hard to mess up. Also, you might have a little bit more luck finding a cheap DC motor controller that will fit your application. There are 4 main things you'll need to consider here, and those are the current rating, the voltage rating, the torque output, and the RPM of the motor. For obvious reasons, you will not want to exceed the current rating or voltage rating of your motor, and you also want to make sure that the RPM for the corresponding voltage is suitable for your use. Do some quick hand calculations based on the final drive of your rear diff or the gear ratio of the transmission that you're connecting it to figure out what kind of RPM you want to get. I'm using my existing transmission and final drive, so I want a motor that will spin between 0 and 3,000 or 4,000 RPM. I also want a motor with a torque output similar to the factory rating. I think this one is around 100 foot-pounds. So this is the motor that I'm using. It's essentially a forklift drive motor with advanced brush timing, just meaning that it can handle a higher voltage and spin at a higher RPM. It's a series wound DC motor, which essentially means that the same current that goes through the field windings also goes through the armature windings. Series wound motors are really good for this because they generally have a really high torque output and a high current capacity. Shunt wound and compound wound motors probably won't work for this application. This specific model is called a Warp 9. It was made by NetGain Motors a long time ago. I bought it used off Craigslist, so I got a super good deal on it. This particular model has output shafts on both ends. As you can see, they are just keyed shafts. It's rated for 1000 amps peak, 500 amps continuous, and up to 144 volts. Your high voltage comes in here and leaves here, and then there's also 2 other lugs on the bottom that connect the field windings and the armature. And in the next video, I'll talk about my nifty solution for connecting the output shaft of this motor to my existing transmission and how I utilize the existing engine mounts there and there to mount the motor at the front end.